thought this would be a funny admission to revisit from last year, March 2016, over here at NPR. Got reported elsewhere. I'll show you that in a minute. Opioids are becoming the latest serious addiction problem in this country. Among these drugs manufactured from opium, heroin is the most serious, dangerous, cheap, and available everywhere. And they'll tell you who's behind all this and why that is and who's responsible. In April's edition of Harper's Magazine, Dan Baum has examined a new response to the latest addiction problem, the legalization of drugs. NPR's Linda Wertheimer asked Baum about how he began to delve into the topic of America's war on drugs and blah, blah, blah. So he says right here, says, I was starting a book on the politics of drug enforcement, and in 1994, I got word that John Ehrlichman was doing minority recruitment in an engineering firm in Atlanta. Well, I'm 60, and Ehrlichman was one of the great villains of American history, a Watergate villain, and he was Richard Nixon's drug policy advisor, and Richard Nixon was the one who coined the phrase war on drugs. And he told me an amazing thing. I started asking him some earnest, wonky policy questions, and he waved them away. He said, can we cut the BS? Can I just tell you what this was all about? The Nixon campaign in '68 and the Nixon White House had two enemies, black people and the anti-war left, he said. And we knew that if we could associate heroin with the black people and marijuana with the hippies, we could project the police into those communities, arrest their leaders, break up the meetings, and most of all, demonize them night after night on the evening news. And he looked at me in the eyes and said, did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. So the war on drugs, just like foreign policy, any kind of government policy, is a failure. And just like I've said for a long time now, the reasons why this keeps happening is because it has to be one of two things. These people are that retarded, or they're doing this stuff on purpose. And we just had Nixon's drug policy advisor say that they did this on purpose. And does this not just sound like the government corporation anyway, like Dave Chappelle said? They just come in, they say, oh, there's some troublemakers. Let's sprinkle some crack on them and get the hell out of here. Then they come in and say, hey, we got a tip that you guys are doing crack. We better get in here, blah, blah, you know? That's why it's called government, really, because govern means control and ment is short for mental. It's literally called thought control. That's why it's called the state, because it's a state of mind. I mean, how else would these predators and pedophiles get away with this stuff? Here's all these different news sources, whether it be CNN, Forbes, The Independent, all reporting the same thing. You know, this was just an admission, straight up. So there's something real funny going on around here, ain't it? Thank you to my subscribers.